Well, as the month of love comes to an end, so does the South African tax year. And as every year comes around, the Minister of Finance then reviews past budgets and then talks about future projections of our economy. And that's exactly what Minister Pravin Gordhan did yesterday. And here to help me unpack the entire national budget speech, Kashif Wickham joins us this morning. Good to have you back. So how are you?
Very well, yourself?
Lovely, lovely. So obviously a very kind of nervous time for lots of people at this time of the year when we're talking national budget, because it speaks a lot about where we are as a country given the past and where we're going. What are your general kind of thoughts of the national budget speech?
I think when one looks at the budget speech as a South African, in my view, you always look at it from 3 points of view. How it affects you as an individual, how it affects your business, whether you are employed, self-employed or employed, and to me, what opportunities exists in the budget.
Yeah.
Now, quite a bit of money again has been going on to infrastructure spend. So I think, for example, they've spent 6.5 billion, an extra 6.5 billion on water fees. And what does that mean? That means there will be dam rehabilitation on 25 dams. The De Hoop Dam in Limpopo will be built. The Klein Willem Dam in the Western Cape, they're adding, I think, 10 meters to the wall. That will be increased. So for me, if you are in civil construction, if you are somewhere employed or living in those areas, and remember there's 25 dams across the country, therein lies the opportunity for employment, therein lies the opportunity for getting involved in the contract itself.
So this is for you to get a piece of the 6.5 billion rand pie if you're a business operating in this kind of...
If you are a business.
Operating in this kind of
sector.
If
you are in manufacturing, 1.5 billion has been set aside for what they call the Manufacturing Competitiveness Incentive Program. Now what does that do? Where you have a little factory somewhere in Limpopo, somewhere in the Northern Cape, and you want to increase the capacity of that factory.
Yes.
And that increase of capacity will add additional jobs at your business, then there's an incentive program available for you for that. Jobs Fund, 6.4 billion has been set aside for that. They've already received 3,600 applications, and they've granted funding for 3.5 billion projects over, 3.5 billion rand over 65 projects. Again, if you have an opportunity, if you have an idea.
Yes, and I wanted to ask exactly what that means. So when we say 6.4 billion rand allocated to Jobs Fund, what does that mean to you as a potential businessman?
I've got an idea. Yes. I want to build widgets. I want to manufacture widgets. And I have a bit of money. Remember, the Manufacturing Competitiveness Incentive Scheme program may help me to increase my equipment which I may have or may need, or the research and development I may do. But in the Jobs Fund, that's specifically for increasing the jobs at my factory or at my place of work.
Yeah. While we're talking about this, do you think South African businesses and entrepreneurs are well enough equipped to know exactly how to make use of these funds? How do they access them? So that is already a problem we need to be facing up with.
I mean, I know a bit of this, but I've tried to access these funds. I can't do it on my own. You need an expert to do it for you.
Yes.
Because there are so many funds available. If you are a small business, I'm sort of going off the topic, but if you're a small business, there's CEDA, and they will help you with marketing, with doing your business plan, and from there you progress on to the import and export incentives, etc., etc., etc. So get an expert in.
All right.
In terms of employment, I think this is very, very opportune for all of us. Youth employment, employment tax incentives for young first-time workers. This is now to the employer. 500 million in tax relief to these employees. So if you employ a young first-time worker, you'll get 500 million in tax relief into your business.
A portion of it will come to you.
A portion of it. So if you employ 10 people, well, first-time youth, and you employ them, and I think the threshold is below 67,000 rand per annum, and then somehow you'll get a rebate on your tax. The mechanics of which I don't know, but you'll get a rebate on your tax. So the 67,000 you would have paid them in salaries for the year, half of it will come from tax relief or whatever the number is. Okay?
And obviously, I think a lot more beneficial because you also have the advantage of having fresher, younger minds involved in your business.
Definitely. Special economic zones. Now, the special economic zones are zones that the states have identified where they want to encourage growth and activity.
Yes.
So if you are, if your business is resides in a special economic zone, workers of all ages employed within the special economic zones will also fall under this tax incentive. So again, it will allow employers to make deductions for employing workers earning less than 60,000 rand per annum. Also, this is quite nice, companies established within the special economic zones will only pay corporate tax of 15% as opposed to 28%.
28%, that's
so you're really saving quite a bit of time over there. And then also accelerated depreciation on the buildings if you are in the special economic zone.
Yeah.
Turnover threshold for small business, I think this is a nice one if you are in small business. Raised, now the turnover threshold has been raised from 20 million to 40 million and translates into 360 million rand in tax relief for small business.
Wow.
What does that mean? It means the following. That if your business earns less than 67,000 rand per annum, you pay no tax. Your business pays no tax.
The business pays no tax, of course, yes.
If it earns up to 365,000 rand per annum, 7%. Up to 550,000 rand, 21%. And above 550,000, 28%. Taking into account that last year this number was standing at 350,000 rand.
And besides, if your business is making that much money, then you're well underway.
You ought to be.
You're doing very well.
And Minister Gordon has ended his budget speech by saying he acknowledges and he accepts and he praises those of us who pay taxes,
yes.
but be warned, you're flying under the radar and you're doing tax avoidance, they're coming after you.
Indeed. So thank you very much. Later on, we'll be chatting about how the budget speech affects you as an individual, so don't miss out on that. Kashif will be here with us all morning long. We're going to take a quick ad break. We'll be right back.